to implement the processes, you should understand what you are doing. Second, large processes which are connected and should be definitely part of the HR processes within the organization is the adaptation, learning, and development. Why? Because if you are not adapting people well, so it means we call it onboarding, or it can be called also induction process. And it is normally structured for 3 months. And that's exactly what how I would like to describe a process. Induction process looks like that you have to hire someone. So day one is the starting day of the employee and its starting time for the induction process. And the trial period is normally 3 months and something is between. And you have to really plan it step by step. You have to control the new employee. You have to help the new employee. You have to train the employee. And if you do it properly, so it flows very nicely. And there is a step-by-step approach, and the employee is kind of like understanding your culture. The employee is aware of the internal policies, etc., etc., and it makes really sense. And that's exactly a nice example of a process. So if you look at the process, you would like to do that, always think about some processes which you can imagine how they will be done, because then it's easier to do that. So onboarding, induction, one of the most important processes. Learning and development, that's another part of the HR which really needs to be process driven, because if you are doing, and I saw it so many times, that the companies are investing into learning and development, but because there is no strategy and no process. So usually you are wasting your resources, you're wasting your money, and you're wasting your time, because you're sending your employees to trainings which they don't need. Or for example, I give you an example which is a typical example how to waste money within the organization. If you are sending your employees to language courses, I have never ever saw a person who learned a language within the organization. When the employee is starting and he or she does not have the language knowledge, it means that I cannot speak French, for example. No idea how to speak French, don't understand a single word. If I should now start somewhere in a French company, and they will even send me to a language course, even though I am fluent in 3 languages, I guess I will not learn French. I will not be able to do that. First of all, I would probably not have enough motivation to learn it, because it's not easy, it's hard. Second of all, 1 or 2 hours a week, it probably will not improve my French from 0 to I don't know where. So if you have a process of learning and development, it has to be also connected, first of all, with the hiring. Because if you hire a person, if you need a French language, you have to already start with hiring. So the person should be able to speak French. If you are starting with the learning and development, you've forgotten something, and then you need to pay money for that. You have to, and normally these people are staying within the organization 2-3 years and then going. So what is the point? So I don't see it. So that's why you need to have a very specific process for learning and development. So it has to be connected with the hiring, as we said. It has to be connected also with the performance management. It's really important, because again, you have to measure your people. You have to make sure that you can see the talented people. You can move them within the organization chart or within the company, etc., etc. So that's why it's really important to have these little things in kind of like nice process way. So if you do this, then you need to do also the next step as well. You've got here another examples. What is really important is to pay your people well, because again, if you hire, you have to understand how much you will be paying, how you will understand it. You need to have the remuneration benchmarks. You have to understand how much the employers are paying on particular market. Otherwise, you might be paying too much or too low, and then it's again your problem with the hiring, etc. And again, in remuneration, you need to, for example, increase the salary. So there has to be, again, a process behind that. So there must be a step one, for example, the performance management outcome, and then it might be linked with the salary increase, because why would you increase the salary for an employee who is underperforming? So again, you have to have it wisely written and thought over, because it's really important and it's coming in circles and never ending. So retention, that's the most important. Retention means that you would like to motivate your employees for staying within your company as long as possible. So it means, again, connected with the hiring. If you have a high retention, it means that your people are staying with you for 3, 4, 5 years. I don't know how many you would like to have, but as long as they can, then you are you having a lower cost for the hiring. So which is very important, and again coming together with the other processes. And of course you've got the exit. An exit process is the quite painful process, because you have to follow many administrative restrictions. You have to follow many things which are coming from the local legislation. You have to, of course, make sure, for example, if you have the labor unions, you have to also cooperate with the labor unions. And again, it's very good if you have a written process how to do that. So you know that first, if you are making someone redundant, that's step number 1 is to discuss it with the labor unions. Step number 2 might be to prepare everything with your lawyers. Step 3, etc.